Oh, hi. Welcome. Let's start with the Pontifex. You're like, what? My story is named the Pontifex. No, I'm not saying let's talk about the boat. Um, why is it named the Pontifex is when I was finishing my first draft, I was trying to come up with a name I think could represent the story, but also sounds cool. Um, and I was looking and I went, the Pontifex. Like it was so simple once it came to my mind. Like I'm like, this is such a simple title, and I hope that it's so simple and elegant. And like elegant, it's like it's cutesy. It's like okay. I hope there's like a lore to it, but like I don't know. But if you have been here for a while, then you would have heard about the Pontifex, my debut. That being said, you might have heard about it through a different name. The Pontifex is the name of my secret project. Like what? Okay. So my secret project was a project that I started, I believe back in September, and it is could I finish draft one of this story? The shiny part is going to make it so you can't see it anyways. But can I finish this draft one for the end of the year? That was my goal. And then I did it. And then I did it. It took me 83 days. And that is with, I think, like 12 days off as well. So I did pretty well. Am I under 100K? Yes. But that is because I did multiple revisions during it. Don't do revisions, I know. But that was after I found out the ending of this specific book. And if you didn't already know, this is going to be a series, yes, an adult fantasy series. And honestly, I think it also might fall under sci-fi. Why? Is because it takes place on a different planet. I'm not saying it takes place with humans. It does, in fact, not take place with humans. I'm not saying like we're gonna see humans in it. I don't think we'll probably will. What I am saying is it's just on a planet that's not ours that has three moons and three suns. It is 80% water. And if you're like, oh, that sounds a little bit alarming because of the ocean. Shh, 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 shh. Anyways, so there might technically be some aspects of that, even though there is magic and stuff like that, so it is still fantasy. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not like a publisher, so I don't really know. I don't really know. Anyways, back to this. I did the secret project, and the secret project is done. It is over because I completed the goal. Because it was revisions, I am under 100K. That's completely fine with me. I realized when I did revisions that when I restarted and deleted not 100, deleted 10,000 volts, I forgot to re-put in important lore. And my brain went, you're repeating yourself. You shouldn't repeat yourself. You said it earlier. Forgetting. You're like, wait, what? Okay. I'm going to go back a little bit. In my secret project, um, very early on, I wrote a whole bunch. Then I realized all this has got to go. The POV, it didn't feel right. It felt like it needed to be in first person, not third person. A character that I was having in it, like honestly, it did not need to be there, and it should not have been there. And then like the family also kept on changing because I couldn't like feel like it didn't feel right. And it's not that I regret, and I probably should have kept, and I shouldn't have like just deleted it. Um, I don't regret having that. in that information. Because it's not that it didn't happen. It's just it shouldn't be told in the story, at least right now. Um, the prelude I almost did. It's not that it didn't happen, it's just that should not have been at that point in the story. The 10K that I wrote, it's not that it didn't happen, it's just it should not have been told at that point. Right. So I should have kept it. I didn't. But all things were lost in that 10K. And I realized, oh, I gotta put that back in. um, anyways, I had this bind. Let's actually talk about the Pontifex, why we are here. Right? So, draft 2 is not underway. It is, in fact, we are between the drafts. I'm trying to give my mind um, the space and the clarity that it needs before I go back in. And I have been told once the full draft is done, like you're fine. Like you can like keep on editing it. Um, like you read the books, it's fine. Like it. At least that's what I've been told by the author. So that's what I'm going off of. Here's the problem. My brain says it's been 2 weeks. I like it feels like my brain is like talking. Like okay, it feels like my brain has been secretly to my conscious mind been working out problems that I did not think of. I've just been and then it was like a knock. Being like, hey, can we talk? Can we talk about our story? And I'm like, it's too much. And it's like, okay. You didn't get out of that scene though. And I'm like, what? What scene? And then I realized it's not that this aspect of the magic system didn't exist. It's I just didn't have any like expansion on it. And that part of it really comes forth later on in the book. And I'm like, oh yeah, that actually would be a really good way of showing it, not just it just showing up. But like, no, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. I eventually did crack, and I wrote. This is not the entire scene on the back of this, but it is a bit. Then I'm like, no, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. It's not time yet. And it's still not. Why? It's because before I actually start on the second draft, I want to read my story front to back. No edits in it, just exactly how I read it. And I want to do that on paper, right? I just want to read it, I want to go through it. Why on paper? Because sometimes my brain does not like reading digital things, right? And I really want to do this, but I have yet to actually print all of it out. I'm slowly doing it with a space being in between each paragraph and it being on double spaced. It's all 600 pages. Uh, so I only have about 100 of them printed off. Um, I don't know when I'm going to print off more, but that's kind of how it is right now. I have my title page that I will not be showing because it has my full name on it. You don't get that until the book comes out. Um, so I have also these little dividers I want to flip through so I can like have my little charts. And I like charts. Yeah, I have charts for this story. Okay, so that is a little bit of the update for the Pontifex, and also I've been trying to intentionally will build more. And I want to show this little story that was on um, TikTok that I was doing, which is my story has multiple militaries in it, right? It's not one government. But the main one that we're following has one. And I was like, okay, yeah, I should probably figure that out. I should probably figure that out. And with that, I went, okay, well, they have the military, but what do they have? And then I was like, oh, I know like almost nothing about the military. Like, so I then realized I need a structure for this, a template, one might say, for the military, so that way I can understand maybe how a system would work, or what may need to be there. I'm a United States citizen. You know, I feel like, why is that important? In this country, it's kind of really easy to find out information about how our military works. And I laugh because I'm like, did you just research? Yeah, I did. Um, that's not this one. Okay, so basically, um, they have an army, they have a navy. In my story, um, they have a coast guard, they have a marine stuff. They will have an air force, but they don't yet because they don't have planes. And if like Space Force, they don't want in. And that's kind of when I realized also that like, oh yeah, I'm like these are people. Would these peoples believe that there was other life? Like, do they believe that it's just real? What do they think about their sons? Like, you know, like not just like I'm trying to make them actually like real. And I went, if these people thought about space and if there was life out there, because I'm like, I feel like there had to have been conversations about it. I don't think they want life to come to them. And I certainly do not think they'll send anything out. Like, they are so focused on what is happening on their planet that I don't think a single one of them is even thinking about other possible life. Because I think it's more of a other possible life can be a threat, but also most important, like I made a video for TikTok. It was a bit, but I think it's true. And it's like, why won't they have a space force or something like NASA? And I don't think it's because they're afraid other life might come to them, because I think it might be taken care of. Um, but all I can come up with for a reason that I feel like is true to their culture, their identity as a whole, is the reason why they do not send anyone out is it's because it's their mercy. And then I was thinking, what would happen if life came to their planet? And I thought they would weep for them because no life that would go there might understand when they first land what kind of dangers is there. So it's not even that they're worried about what that life might do. It's they don't know what's here. That is the Pontifex. That's what I'll give. That's what I give for this little update. But we're still between the drafts. I want so much to do more. Oh, actually, I want to give you one more. For the military, I want to get them little slogans. I want to give them little slogans, okay? Because I want them to have a little bit of fun. How I'm thinking of it is let me give them a little bit of something kind of fun because otherwise will not be fun. Or soon will not be fun. So let me give them something. Let me give them some hope, some happiness. So they're not You need to give them something before I destroy their lives, basically. um, and so I decided to give them little slogans. And I was trying to figure it out. And still, I was looking at the United States military slogans. Um, so just so I could kind of like see how one in the military might um, come across that or make one, right? And instead of getting slogans for them, I then make a song. I wrote the song poem thing, and I thought it would make sense that the last time that the greatest enemy was there, that they would remember it, warning potentially the other people to come from it what is happening. Right, like a cautionary tale, one might say. Um, and to me, the thing that's kind of sad, but I feel like what makes it true to them, to this group, is it's not from the perspective of a civilian. It is not from the perspective of the greatest enemy. It's not the villain speaking. It is a soldier speaking to who is to follow them. It is a warning for the others to come. So I don't, it kind of gives me chills right now, but I think that just makes sense, right? And so I will take slogans from it, and maybe there's only one, but instead of making a military system, I made a war song. And it took me hours. It took me hours. I went line by line. I listened to a marching beat over and over and over and over and over again. So that way I might be able to like potentially even think of how it might be sung. How is this something that's going to be sung? Is this going to be something that is spoken? How is it going to go? And just like, 2 hours, just a beat. That's not even how it worked. But like, anyways, and I was worried. I was like, how is this gonna end? I don't know if I'm ending this the right way. And then it ended with a line from my story. And in it, it was an impactful moment. It made the people in the room realize they were being foolish. Something in it was just it was hard to explain when the character said it. Everyone in the room just stopped, and I feel like, well, you made them stop. Okay, but the characters in it stopped. I don't know why, but in the story, saying that just made them stop and just think about what they were doing. And then with having that line being the last line in the song poem, and I'm like, this is a song that this division, this group would know. Or at least these people in the room that they are talking to would know this song. And I knew then it was done. I was like, so instead of giving them slogans, I made them a little song poem at a marching beat. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to, have background, and I'm trying to world build, and to me, it makes more sense that maybe they would take their slogans from a song in which many people, especially in that organization, would know by heart. Um, that actually now is the full update for the Pontifex. I hope that this was intriguing to you. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. Goodbye.